Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Respect and Praise Show with your host, Mike Medina, Triple M. And on this episode, I am so happy to have this person on this particular episode. She's a force. She's a phenomenal businesswoman. She is someone that you're going to continue seeing year after year after year. And I can't wait to show you guys what this person brings to the table, her experience, and how she got to where she is now. And she's only getting started. We only seen the beginning of her, and we can't wait to see what's coming up next. Here's more on this particular person.
This is just one of the winners, but all our winners share Carolina, who can be counted among them for developing the idea of a Bronx Film Festival in 2019 while on her way to one in California. And now 2 years later, she's seeing the fruit of that labor.
It's been a wonderful night, and I'm glad that people are here enjoying each other, networking, exchanging information.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the founder and executive director of Mott Film Festival,
Miss South Bronx,
Ninoska Carolina. Ninoska, how are you doing? Thank you for joining me today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate being called Miss South Bronx. I don't think anyone has ever called me that before, so I appreciate that. But wow, that's a very intense title to follow up to. But thank you for having me.
We gotta start from the top. How did Mott Film Festival come about? Tell us the story.
I thought of creating the Mott Film Festival while I was actually on a plane headed to LA. And I was on the plane talking to my sister, the filmmaker of the family, and I just happened to ask her, is there a film festival in the Bronx, right? And she said, I don't know, I never heard of one. So I told her, well, if you never heard of one and you're the filmmaker, then I really never heard of one. And so that's basically what initialized the idea of creating a film festival in the Bronx, because I felt that if here we are traveling from New York to LA to see films being screened at a film festival, then the same can happen to us, right? And so this was in the late summer of 2019, towards the fall. By October, I had already initiated, a logo and, the colors and a lot of the branding. So by January of 2020, it was already established, right? Like I had my team, my immediate team. And what ended up happening, of course, was the pandemic. And so even though I had signed for a space in February of 2020, by March of 2020, everything was shut down, right? Along with the entire world. And so it was very devastating, and it was a very dark time because as a brand new company, brand new business and organization, we didn't know what to do next. And there were times when I wanted to stop because the old-fashioned way of getting money or funding, I should say, was not the same anymore, right? Because everyone was not making money, right? So we couldn't just go to other organizations and say, hey, can you fund us, right? So what we ended up doing was we ended up participating in pop-up shops, farmers markets. We started doing donations over Instagram. So we got creative with how we were able to, to get funding for the film festival. Now, when it came to actually carrying out the film festival, we had to reschedule because initially we were going to do it in October. And I was very surprised when we were not able to do it in October, or like once it was like coming closer to October, because I felt, the pandemic should be done by then. It's, no big deal. Unfortunately, it's still here. And, but by October, we already had a really nice way of having everything structured. So we were able to just reschedule because the other thing was that I really, really, really did not want to do it virtually. Like, I just felt that it was very unfair. As someone that has been in front of the camera and someone that has been behind the camera in numerous independent films, I just felt that it wasn't fair to the crew, to the writers, to everyone involved, the directors, of course, anyone concerned with the immediate filmmaking process. I just thought it would be very unfair. So the decision to reschedule for December was made. And luckily, by then in New York City, especially, the pandemic had really kind of like slowed down and died down. And then, of course, the weekend chosen was the time when it was also like the warmest December in New York City. So we really lucked out in rescheduling for a later date. So my feeling overall was very surreal, I would say, because all the hard work since the beginning of the year, especially considering the pandemic. So there was a lot of, different factors that would usually that was taking place, right? That usually doesn't. Really got to the point where I just was grateful that we did have a following and that people did show up, and and that, of course, the pivotal moment of everyone doing everything online was there. So the fact that we were also able to offer online streaming was also something that I was really aiming for, because the reality was that many people didn't show up because of it, or they were out of state, with their family members, spending time with them during the pandemic.
You're approaching the third year of the festival. As a founder, you want to elevate and you want to get better year by year. What are some adjustments you feel that you need to make for this year's festival?
So yes, we are approaching our third year and we're very excited about that, right? One of the things that we do want to enhance for 2022 would be our online streaming service for the film festival. We would love to have something that would maybe be easier or can have a greater capacity for the films and also for the viewers. But so far what we have right now has been working, but due to us growing every year, we are starting to look into some technology that can help us out in the future. The other thing as well is that we basically sold out 6 out of the 7 screening slots that we had, and we figure that we may need a bigger venue for 2022. I think that we are growing in popularity and our name is getting out there, and that is something beyond the belief. So we're excited about that, and we're looking forward to what the new technology brings us.
You went to City College to get your BA and you went to NYU to get your master's. Those are 2 pretty good schools to have on your resume. What were some of your post-college plans?
So yes, I did graduate from the City College of New York under the CUNY umbrella. And I also graduated from New York University, NYU, with my master's. But I also graduated from Borough Manhattan Community College, BMCC. And I say that because when I graduated from BMCC, I started as a pre-med major, right? So I was a science major. I was taking all these science courses, and then I ended up taking a business 101 class as an elective, and that basically made me change my entire career choice, right? And in one of those classes, when I became a business major, I discovered communications, like public relations, advertising, marketing. It was like speaking to my soul, right? And so when I graduated with my associates in business administration, my goal for that year was to obviously enter a 4-year college, which was City College. And I majored in public relations and advertising, and the minor was marketing. And when I graduated from City College, my idea, right, was to get a job in one of the PR agencies, and then like take over the world, right? And so unfortunately for me, with people that have like my background, I'm like first generation American, first person in the family to attend college. There's not much guidance, right? And I really didn't know people that attended college, that knew the ins and outs, that were able to really guide me and say, make sure you do internships while you're in college. And so with that, it really affected me afterwards, because I was caught in this very particular loophole where I had the credentials, like I have my bachelor's, right? However, I did not have any experience. So after, a year or so of just trying to land a job on, in PR, like you become very overwhelmed, right? Like, because you're not getting what you think in your mind you should be getting, right? And so a few years more passed on, and I ended up getting the nerve, right, to apply for grad school. And the reason I say that was because I felt that if I was a student, I can now qualify for internships, and then from the internships, I'll be able to go ahead and move forwards with, with finally pursuing the career that I wanted in PR. And after that, I got accepted to NYU, and that in itself was very. I'm speechless still. Like I was very thrilled to be accepted, right? And of course, I focused on not only learning and brushing up on my skills in PR, but also taking the opportunity to say, hey, I am a student, and I want internships. So that's basically the reason why I decided to pursue a master's. Well, one of them, right? Because I do eventually want to become a doctor. But of course, those were my post-college plans, from BMCC to City College. Once I graduated from NYU, I discovered what they say, crisis communications, right? And with crisis communications, I just loved everything about it. If you look it up. And I wanted to be able to combine things that I loved, right? So I love traveling, and I love communications. So when I was offered a position at an airline company, I was able to say, hey, this may not be in communications, but I do want to transfer over to communications. And that's where I was up until the pandemic, and me having the idea to pursue, to fund, right, the Mott Haven Film Festival. So all of the knowledge that I have from not only BMCC, but CCNY, and of course NYU, I've been able to apply all of that to the Mott Haven Film Festival, which I think is something that at the time I didn't know that I would need. But looking back, I am grateful that I experienced all of those little hiccups so that I can be successful at the Mott Haven Film Festival.
It's game time with Miguel Mike Medina. So in this game, I'll ask you a question, and you just gotta pick one over the other. So are you ready?
I'm ready for this game. Oh boy, I wonder where you're going to ask me.
Short films or feature films?
Without debating, right? Feature films, we're so used to watching them, right? Like we watch them on TV, we watch them on streaming services, we watch them on, the movie theaters on the weekends with our friends, our family. But I would say short films, simply because there's more rawness to it. There's a lot of immediate work that goes behind it. And so I feel that would be a much better choice for me. I think also that if you get a good chunk of short films, let's say about 4, you can, and they're each about 15 to 20 minutes, in an hour you get to watch 4 different stories as opposed to watching like the one feature film. So I would say I'm more of a short film person.
New York or Los Angeles?
New York or LA? Well, New York through and through. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised here. So I would definitely say New York, New York City specifically, right? But New York State is such a beautiful state, and I think that a lot of people aren't really aware of that. We do have skiing slopes, we do have Niagara Falls, right? We have other wonderful things. We even have castles here. So I would definitely say New York, simply because I know the beautiful scenery that we have here. So Los Angeles, I have been there a few times, but I may have to visit a few more times, right? Like they do have like that nice perfect weather where you could just like have a hoodie on and still go outside. But I actually like the winter. I'm a winter baby, so I like the fact that I'm able to experience all 4 seasons. So again, New York, New York State, New York City, hands down.
Hip hop or salsa?
Well, the good thing is that they were both born in the Bronx. So that's a good thing. But I would say they're in 2 very different categories for me, right? So yes, I am Hispanic, but salsa is more social in a sense. Like you get to dance with, your mom, your dad, like strangers at a club, right? And you just get to like have like fun dancing, right? And you don't even have to really be good at it. Like as long as you're able to keep up with the tempo, like you're fine. Hip hop, on the other hand, is like music that I use for like working out, right? Like to amp me up. And so I definitely feel that they're 2 separate entities for me. So I would say, for the sake of the game, I'll go with salsa because it's more social in the sense of like you're able to dance to it more.
Merchandise or jewelry?
Well, I do like jewelry, as you can see, right? But I would say merchandise, because we do have cool merchandise. So like this t-shirt that I'm wearing for the Mott Film Festival. We have hoodies, and then merchandise can be like stickers and chapsticks and, a plethora of things, honestly. While jewelry, it's, you can, it's like a piercing or, like a necklace, a bracelet. So I would definitely say merchandise versus jewelry.
Best DMX album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, or Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood?
Is Dark and Hell is Hot, or Flesh of My Flesh and Blood of My Blood? Well, I would say, since I purchased Flesh of My Flesh and Blood of My Blood when I was a teenager, I would say that one. Not to say that Is Dark and Hell is Hot is a bad album, but those hits basically cemented me as a DMX fan enough for me to like purchase his second album, right? So when I think of his album, Flesh of My Flesh, again, this is the one I purchased, right? I felt that the artistry was really there. Like you begin, with an intro, and then it like goes into the songs, and then it has an outro, right? And that was the first time I really experienced that. Like there's like a theme behind the album. It's not just like songs put together, right? Because usually when you're listening to the single on the radio, it's just like the club banger and then the next hit, right? So I feel like with that album, it was the first time I was exposed to the fact of it being an actual album, having a beginning, a middle, and an end.
You were recognized as one of Bronx Women of the Year, which is very much well deserved and a very high recognition. What does this accomplishment mean to you?
Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I was recognized as one of the Bronx Women of the Year. Firstly, let me say that I am very happy and honored to share the stage with the other women for that award. Right? It was a nice group of women, and I loved it. I was able to really meet amazing women and see what they're doing for the community and the Bronx in general. When I was selected, I was really taken aback because I didn't realize that the work that I've done for the Mott Film Festival and for the Bronx in total was really going to get me an award and a recognition of sorts. And so, I was very surprised. It really did mean a lot to me. I was, like I said, I was definitely taken aback, and I was, of course, honored, right? The accomplishment means that I'm doing something right? I'm hoping that I'm really making a change, and it's nice to know that someone did take the time to nominate me, and the organization was able to honor me. But a success for me is not just for me, it's for my entire team, and of course for the Bronx. So it really does mean a lot. So I'm happy to be part of that community now.
Where can people go to find more information about the Mott Film Festival?
Well, people can find out more about the Mott Film Festival at motthavenfilmfestival.nyc, or you can follow us on Instagram at Mott Film Festival. There you will find the latest updates concerning submissions, where to go for submissions. You can always click in our bio, and there's links there that you can follow. And then, of course, our website has all of the information, also where you can even purchase merchandise to help fund the Mott Film Festival. So between the website and Instagram, you will find out everything that you need to know about the Mott Film Festival.
This platform is to give people their flowers while they're still here, as well as to help people promote what they're doing, especially those that don't have a massive following on social media. Ninoska, I salute you. I am very happy for you. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments and more that's about to come. Sky's the limit, and I'm rooting for you, so keep it going.
Michael, I want to say thank you for the opportunity of being on your show. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having this platform and honoring the people that are doing work and that are still here, of course. It's very sad when someone passes away and they need to basically not see all of the beautiful things that people have to say and all of those wonderful accolades that people get to see once the person is dead. So thank you for that, and I'll be staying in touch. And for the viewers, just visit us at www.motthavenfilmfestival.nyc for all of the updates. And right now we're accepting submissions for our Halloween in April. So if you have a Halloween themed film, like scary or gore, feel free to submit it at our website. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, everyone.
Yes. Amen. I couldn't agree with you more. I highly appreciate, and much more success to you and the festival. I can't wait to see what you guys will be coming up next. As for the rest of you, here's more on Ninoska Carolina. Well, guys, that does it for this episode of the Respect and Praise Show. Stay tuned for the next episode. And always remember, have mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual admiration. So, until next time.